everyone. We're going to start working on classic bits and pieces. So grab your instrument and let's tune. Here's your A. B. G. C. And E. Okay. All right. Let's get started. I'm holding the bass now because the first few notes are super important to play very strong and very loud. This Classic Bits and Pieces has a lot of different classical music bits and pieces. And it starts off with Handel's Hallelujah Chorus from his composition of the Messiah. And I thought it would be pretty funny because if we get this in a concert, the first few notes that the audience would recognize, and this would be our opener, by the way, would be Hallelujah, Hallelujah. It'd be a great tribute to all the things we've been through, and now that we're finally here to play. Cellos and basses, grab your instruments and play along with me. These are the first few measures. We're going to play every single note nice and staccato, or like I call them, arcado, when everything is accented. Okay? 1 and 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, and 3, 4, 3, 4. Whoops. Notice there's a rest there. 1. And then we switch into another song called The Surprise Symphony. Now, funny enough, the 8th graders played this song earlier this year, so we're going to mimic them. All of this is nice and short staccato. Anyway, it goes on from there. So those articulations are for everyone to do. Going back to measure 1, violins and violas, you have the actual melody portion right there where the choir would sing Hallelujah. Okay? I would like you to play very strong as you can. Nice accent on the very first note. And then short on the rest of those notes. Okie doke? Okay. Jump violins and violas to measure 7. We're going to do the fingerings right here for Surprise Symphony at measure 7. It goes for violins especially D, D, F's, F's. Okay, third finger on the E string. I don't know if we've ever played anything this high before. And then we get G, natural, right? So that means that our second finger is a low second finger when we play that G. This is talking about the last 2 notes of measure 9. And then we go to 4th finger. And then I have to turn the page. Now this part is tricky because it's C sharp. Okay, practice that again with me. 1, 2, ready at 7. Remember low 2, 4, high 2. Okay, make sure that you're switching back and forth between those. In fact, here's a fun little exercise that another teacher taught me that plays violin all the time, is play tennis, go back and forth between high 2 and low 2. It seems like this song is pretty easy, but it's got just the right amount of challenges for us to review what we've learned this year. Okay, skipping ahead, go to measure 15, and I'm specifically talking to violinists. And by the way, you may have noticed in the song there's no second violin part. All violinists are playing the same thing. Here's measure 15. I'd like you to play that A with fourth finger, okay? And there's a little bit of a crescendo. Everyone, mark that in your music. Measure 16, okay? It goes crescendo, especially as you hear the violins. Da 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 da. Okay, here's what it should sound like with your bow. Play your part with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Ready, and. Short, short, short. And then we go into the William Tell Overture. Da, 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 da. Okay, you may have noticed, everyone, that you have a down bow marking on measure 19. Make sure you catch that. If it means that you circle bow to get there, make sure that you look ahead at that mark, breath mark at the end of measure 18 if you need to. Okay, measure 22, or 23, rather, is the beginning of the William Tell Overture. Okay, everyone, I'd like you to clap and count what you have there for the William Tell Overture at 23. Okay? 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, half note, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then we're in 31, which is a new song. Okay, so the thing I want you to recognize with this one is it's going to be a little, I'm going to grab, we're going to stay with viola. Okay, the thing I want you to recognize here is that it sounds like it should be eighth notes when there isn't. Listen to how it sounds here on this viola. Okay, I'm going to do this on the cello. Okay, the thing I want you to recognize here at 23 is that sometimes it's a quarter note, sometimes it's an eighth note. And based on how you remember hearing this song, it might throw you for a little bit of a loop. Remember, this is an arrangement. It's not exactly the same as you may have heard on things before. So you have to watch the music, make sure you play what's there. They do that to make it easier. I don't know if it is easier. It's probably better just to play it the way we've always heard it. Anyway, here is 23. 1, 2, ready, and. Alright, that was the cello part, obviously. And yes, I did make a mistake there, so practice so you don't. I'm talking specifically about the end of measure 24. That's the part where I feel like there should be more eighth notes, but there isn't. So if you didn't mess up on that, good for you. Also, everyone, we should shadow bow this part at 23. Down, wiggle, up, wiggle, down, up, down, wiggle, down, up, down, wiggle, down, wiggle, up, wiggle, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Lots of bow on each of those, except for the eighth note parts. Eighth notes get a little wiggle. Let me get here so you can see me better. Okay, it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Now this brings us to a note that I want to make for the violins is notice how you have that C sharp there, right at the end of measure 30. All right? And the reason that this is there is because we want to lead into something new. Hopefully everyone, you've noticed that this song starts with 1 sharp, F sharp, so it's in G major. We've played in that key before, but also notice that there are accidentals in the middle of the song. All right, so 2 measures before 31. This is also called 29, math. Make sure, violins, that you are going 3, low 2, 1, high 2. Okay, here it is again. Ready, and low, high. Okay, low and high. That's your exercises for this song. Okay. Everyone, get ready to clap and count your part. Cello and bass at 31, and then viola and violin at 35. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and then it goes on differently at that point. Very important that you recognize in your second measure of that group. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I'm going to play what it sounds like. I'm going to start with the viola part and pick up to measure 35. Cellos, basses, you may notice that this is a little bit different than what you've got because you don't have the pickup note. You just start right on the measure. I'll play your part for you in just a second. But violins and violas, you have a pickup. Okay. Viola starting on the F sharp. Violins, you can play along. Pick up to measure 35. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if those last few notes were the right notes because I had to turn the page. Here they are for real. Up, but down. Oh, I totally nailed it. Okay, so that's your part. For the sake of getting everything in tune and watching that accidental, here's the violin part. I may forget this halfway through because I've got this weird page turn, so bear with me. Alright, so notice how I used 4th finger, both viola and violin, when I played that higher string note. Yep, and also C sharp violins, make sure that you're on there. Oh, I started on the wrong string. Here you go, violins. 1, 2, 3. Very important that you get your high 2 there, or else it's going to sound minor instead of major. Okay, high 2 on that C sharp. All right, folks, I think, except for the cello and bass part, that does it for now. Cello and bass, let's rewind back to 31. Okay, so you may have noticed that violins and violas, you're still watching hopefully, that you started with an up bow, okay? Cello bass at 31, you're just going to start right on the beat with a down bow. 1, 2, ready, and... Notice how you have a little bit different of a melody than these guys have. This song, by the way, is called the Russian Sailor's Dance. I'm not as familiar with it, but I do recognize it. I've heard it some places before. And that's the fun of this whole song, is that when we play it, the audience is going to be like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I know that one. Or they just might enjoy it for the first time. It's cool, too. All right, guys, I hope this video finds you well. Practice, practice. Remember that you need to put in those exercises by next time on Monday, and I'll see you soon. Bye.